Hello everyone. So in this session we're going to talk about the configuration of vendor master. The screen selection or the field selection for vendor master is carried out based on three different criteria. First one is based on the vendor account group. Second one is based on the purchasing organization, which is applicable only for purchasing data fields and based on the transaction code for creating, changing, and displaying the vendor master. So first, let's look at how to define the field selection based on the account group. Since we have already seen how to create a account group, let's talk about the field selection based on the account group. So we go back to CRONG, Logistics General, Business Partner, Vendors Control, define account groups and field selection, execute. We already seen how to create a account group, so let's go to that account group, open it, and here, based on the type of data that you want to maintain, just double click on it, click on that relevant screen, and maintain the fields in that particular screen. Now it shows here that we have 3 pages, but it's showing us only page 1. Go to the next page, use the page down button, or use these buttons to go to the next page or the previous page. Okay. So based on the requirement, which fields are required, optional, display, or hidden, you can specify based on the account group. So similarly, the company code data, the screens, and the fields, purchasing data, the screens, and the fields. The next one is based on the purchasing organization, the field selection per purchasing organization for your purchasing data screens. So double click on purchasing data, then again purchasing data. And for this purchasing organization, whatever field selection is required, you can maintain and save it. So once you save it, if the account group and purchasing organization in both the options you have maintained the field selection for purchasing data, the primary criteria will be the purchasing organization, then the account group. Okay. Third one is transaction dependent, where you maintain the field selection for creating, changing, and displaying all the 3 types of vendors: accounting vendor, purchasing vendor, and central vendor. So when you create the vendor, what type of fields to be maintained? When you change the vendor, what types of fields to be maintained? And the display the vendor, what type of fields to be displayed are available for display can be maintained here. In case your client says certain fields should not be allowed to be changed or should not even be displayed, then based on the transaction that requirement, you're going to maintain it based on the transaction code. Right? The fourth configuration step is about the number ranges. This we have already seen. You create an interval with an interval code and assign that interval code to the relevant account code. The next step would be to define industries. Industries is used for identifying the industry specialization of the vendor. So when you click on execute, it's just a 1 to 4 character code and description. You can enter whatever you want. Variant, test, some code of 1 to 4 character code and description. And once you create it, when you create the vendor, in the control screen, you can assign this particular industry specialization. As per the client requirement, they're going to give us the required number of industries to be assigned for specifying the vendor specialization. Based on that, you're going to maintain the industries. Now, the industries maintained in the vendor master are not related to the industry sector of the material master. Another very important configuration in vendor master is specifying the terms of payment. Now, when we go to the terms of payment, in this configuration path, which is IMG, materials management, purchasing, vendor master, define terms of payment. Terms of payment are not basically of three different types. First is where the payment terms are defined for a specific number of days to be paid in a specific number of days. That is, a total payment will be paid in 90 days. Now, this 90 days needs to start from somewhere. That is, this 90 days is the credit period. So, the start date of this credit period is called as the baseline date, as it is displayed here, the baseline date. And it can be defined in two ways. First, as a fixed calendar date, or as one of these three transactional dates. If you specify the fixed date, then starting from the date within the number of days specified, the payment will be processed in a single payment, or you can use, like I said, one of the transaction date. Posting date refers to the date of goods receipt in the SAP system. Document date refers to the date on the invoice documents and by the vendor. Entry date refers to the date of invoice posting in the SAP system. Usually, document date is accepted by both companies and vendors since these days documents are created electronically and sent. There's very less chance of the date getting changed in the invoice document. Now, whether these payment terms apply only to vendors or to both customer and vendor can be specified by checking the relevant option. And when you create the payment terms, you can also specify the default payment method based on the country of the vendor and company. Usually, it will be the company's prerogative to select the payment option. So if you specify, then that particular payment terms will have the default payment method as the selected one here. Click on Save. This is one way of creating where the total payment will be made in a specified number of days starting from the document date. The second method of creating the payment terms is where the vendor is offering some discount to get the payment quickly within those number of days. So let's say if the vendor is offering this type of discount, the start date, I can now take it as a calendar date. So that means for all the invoices received till 25th of the current month, when you leave the additional months field blank, it indicates that it is relevant to the current month. So all the invoices received till 25th of this month, the payment can also be specified as a fixed date. So the payment is made by 20th of the next month, then the vendor is offering 4% discount. If paid by 18th of the second month, 2% cash discount. And if paid by 15th of the third month, there is no discount. So for example, for the current month, if all the invoices received till 25th of August, if the payment is made by 20th of September, then the vendor is offering 4% discount. From 21st to 18th of October, there is 2% discount. 19th October to 15th September, so 15th November, the vendor is not offering any discount. That means if the payment is made between 19th October to 15th November, the company has to pay the complete balance due. So this is another method of creating the payment terms. And the third option is where the third type of payment terms is where the company is paying the vendor in installments. So when the payment terms are maintained in installments, you have to check the installment payment option and then specify the percentage to be paid within the number of days. You can give usually two installment payments. So if I specify it like this, then that means from the document date, 40% will be paid in 30 days and the balance will be in 90 days. And you can even give fixed date. Third installment is also possible, but normally not accepted by vendor. Usually it will be two times two terms of payment. But in case you specify a third installment, then the installment specified has to be in descending order like this. The balance, even if the balance is greater than the specified percentages, still the specified percentages have to be in descending order. We're getting a message called do not enter any terms for holdback or retainage. This indicates that there should not be any additional percentage of payment to be held back by the company. There are certain companies that do this. So in case of installment payment, there should not be any holdback uh, retainage taken by the company. The complete payment has to be made in installments. Okay. So these are the three common ways of defining the payment terms. Once the payment terms are defined, then when the vendor is created, the relevant payment terms can be assigned to them. So this is what the configuration of vendor master was all about.